Alright, let's say you're a pack of raptors. There's like 6 of you, and you're just cruising through this open field, There's rocks somewhere, there's some trees, some bushes, and there you go, you guys run into a full grown trike. Now the question is, how do you take this thing on? Let's talk strategy. I think the first thing you want to do is split up in teams of 2. So these 2 go together, these 2 go together, and finally the last 2, they go together. This is a pretty good setup and pretty much the minimal to make this hunt comfortable. Now this trike is in trouble when he's in the open, and there are several things that the trike can do. First of all, the trike could simply say like, hey, I'm pretty vulnerable here. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna move up here. And squeezes himself in between these 2 rocks, because this game has the best camp spots money can buy. You do not go for that. Like, that is just the only situation where I say abort mission entirely, because there's no longer an opening and this man just wedged himself in between 2 rocks. A good example would be in the volcano field. Another example is this man is like, hey, a tree, I need a tree because they're gonna bounce me. You can still take him down, but in general I would still say like not worth it, gonna take way too long. But you can definitely take down a trike near a tree. It's just gonna take astronomically long. And then the third situation where they say like, hey, I need to start camping water. And when this starts to happen, you can just take it on. No problemo. Water is actually quite doable. So let's get into what we should do. Let's put this man here so that he can start camping. And we're gonna talk the strategy. You're gonna be circling him in groups of 2. So you have to stay together with the partner in the hunt. So pick yourself a hunting partner, somebody you're really comfortable with working together in the pack. And you're gonna be duoing in groups of 3. Alright. So one of them is gonna start getting behind it, baiting some attacks, the trike pays attention to it, maybe even starts camping the water line. And this raptor is basically gonna start pulling him out, start baiting him, and this man might run at him, attack him, do some alt bites, and when that happens, 2 people just start hammering it. Now preferably you want to stay together, but you also need to be flexible so that you can work with the other groups, and you're going to be doing a full damage bounce. Now let me explain why you want to be doing a damage bounce together and not alone. If you're doing it alone, then 500 damage will be absorbed by the trike. But if you do it together, you can dish out 1.5k because he can only absorb 1 of you. Now after the bounce, these 2, they just go further in the back and they go rest. They will just stay in the back, get their stamina back up. There's a unique situation as well where the trike will want to come out to disrupt the resting raptors, like he's gonna try to make them stand up. And if he does that, you just bait him out with the second group, bait him out again, and this man will probably try to walk there, and boom, you hit him with the next group. And as soon as you hit him with the next group, he is gonna do the most expected thing possible, and he's gonna walk towards the water again. It's gonna be like, hey, hold on, I got raptors on me, I need to get them off. And then boom, the other raptors, they go behind the other first 2 raptors that are resting, and they will start a rotation. Now, there's 2 more raptors in the field and they have to be a bit patient. They have to wait for the first 2 raptors that started to rest to get back to about 60% stamina. Because at this point in the fight, it's highly possible that they're only at 30. Alright, let's slap some numbers on that. Okay. Now let's say these guys, they start to, regen their stam. These 2 are anchoring. And what you really want to do right now is just lure the trike out. Maybe go for a bite or 2. Just try to bite him when he's alt biting. You just hit him and then you just dip, like that. And you wait until the first group kind of has 60. And as soon as they announce it, you do a stamina check. You say, hey, stamina report. And they're like, yeah, we got 60 now, bro. Okay, cool. Well, that's beautiful. Like even if they're at 50, because then you know they're almost at 60, you just say like, alright, now we're gonna hit this motherfucker again. Sorry for my language. Basically, the other ones should be around 30 at this point, and yeah, that rotation will just start to happen. And when this happens, the other two Raptors, they do also a damage bounce. Like he's probably gonna try push, because people are resting, he doesn't like that, trust me, they really don't like that. And boom, you hit him again. Now this man is gonna walk to the water again, probably completely stamina drained at this point. And just like that, these guys hop off and they rotate. They go behind the other ones, and then the first ones that have 50 will come out and they will attack it again and repeat the entire rotation. So you do this a few times and that Trike will actually die. Now there are some little issues, like when this man starts camping the rocks, all of a sudden, even though he's super low, he gets this out of jail card where he will survive the Raptors, because the bounce is just really weak near rocks right now. As for trees, same story, there's just not much you can do. And I kind of blame the map for that, you know, because the map is just enabling campers so much. Every part of the map is super camp friendly. That is crazy. However, let's get into this one unique scenario for now. You know, maybe over time we will find more methods. But for now, this is just what we have so far. As soon as I find more, I'll report more. Like a trike guide will eventually exist. I just have absolutely no idea what to do with these campers because they heal so fast. Yeah, I'll probably make another video to suggest some type of change to how healing works, because that is the real issue here. But yeah, I'm gonna show you guys a few examples of where we're doing this in a hunt. Well, a hunt, we're doing it on EU Omni free admin, so it's an admin server, but we wanted to test out how this works. Also, the Trike in question, he is water camping, but he is not going to trees or rocks, and the battle is in South Plains, which was quite doable. Yeah, let's just get into it and show you guys. Alright, so here we start the fight. This man is near a cliff, and I hear you thinking like, game over, you cannot bounce him there. Wrong, you can always use the cliff tag. So we're gonna proceed. Here you get hit by one. Let's see spamming damage bounce. And here I join her and we just unload. It's bungling me above a cliff or near it, trying to throw me into the abyss. And this is how you can deal with it. I've got another video where I show a lot of Raptor tricks. But essentially you just want to cliff tag this. You just look up behind you and voila, you do not fly. Easy. Now I can regen, and as I'm regenning, the next group is gonna start anchoring. Here he's trying to come out a bit further. He doesn't like when people are resting. Most players actually do this, especially with dibbles. It's a really good way to get them out because they think they're so fast and they can knock you out. And you can bait them with that. Here they hit their second damage bounce because somebody in the VC mentioned that they almost got their stand back. And just like that, Trin is gonna start anchoring. We have 5 Raptors, not 6, so we're 1 man short. Oh, damn. But basically, they're gonna unload and Trin is just gonna anchor. She's gonna do nothing else but bite it and just prevent the Trike from sitting down. Now these two are gonna start resting. They fall back. And as soon as, you know, one of us reaches 60 stamina, we're gonna join Trin, and then the next damage bounce will occur. Trike does not like us sitting down. He's trying to walk slowly towards us. we say like, nope, you can just get up and move over. It does reset how fast you heal your stamina, so it's actually quite effective for the Trike to do this. Maybe also the reason why they do this, to make it take longer and give them more healing, but it's not gonna be enough. 1.5k damage is... it just hurts, you know? Bait the Trike into alt bites, and then the anchor can go for some free bites. Here I check the stats because, you know, it's an experiment. We were testing out this method and I just want to see and learn how much it does. In the future I won't be having stats open on these fights. It's just the first fight where I'm trying this. I really want to see what's happening and educate myself. But in general, don't fight with stats open. Now we have 3 Raptors back up. And we're gonna hit him again. Preferably bait out on alt, because after that you can do a very easy pounce. I'm being patient. And we're gonna unload another pounce into him. Now this is optimal conditions, right? Like, I can hear you guys thinking, but bro, this is not gonna work when there's a tree. Bro, this is not gonna work near rocks. This is not gonna work when there's objects involved. This is like a bad Trike. Cool, but I want you guys to remember, we're experimenting. And this Trike is playing along. Yeah. We're trying to simulate this to see if there's a way to damage them, because we're kind of stuck on that. Currently we have the situation where we are figuring out what works, because dogfighting it, we had it down to 75% when we were hitting it hard. We got into stamina problems, we regen it a bit, and then we hit him again, and once again he was at 75 HP and it would just not drop further. So we had a really big issue with the healing. So that's why we're testing some damage approaches, some strategies that could work where you can make a difference to the HP bar. And, you know, just to defend the Trike, he is not a bad player, he is just playing along. So that we can experiment on damage methods. He is trying to kill us though, don't get the wrong idea, he's not giving it for free. Although that alt bite was poorly timed. Oh no, he gets hit again. And because of the bug with the stamina drain currently, this Trike is at 0 stamina. Like any Trike you pounce in the open like this is gonna get just drawn to 0. They cannot walk to a camp spot without losing it. Here once again we've hit him. And every now and then I open my stats, so you guys can just, you know, pause if you have to, that you can keep tabs on how much damage is being done. I'm almost up to 60 again, and just like that, I am back in the fight. Now if you can, try to heal up all the way, but for me time is a factor. The longer I'm sitting, the longer he is healing. So, me and Senua are gonna do the next one. I think Nessie is also back on her feet. That was a beautiful opening we didn't go for some reason, but now I'm going for it. And I'm telling the others to join in. The first Raptor tried to go on the back slot so that you minimize risks of, you know, getting your friend stuck. And now we're gonna hit him really hard. Here I'm draining a little bit so that I was trying something, but actually don't do that, it's pointless. I was like, well, as long as I stay on, I can nullify some of the healing, but shouldn't have done a damage spam pounce. Instead I should have done a neutral pounce that does a little bit of damage at least. And once again Trin starts anchoring. And by biting the Trike like this, it does get stamina from tactile endurance, but at the same time, it also takes damage, which offsets its healing slightly. And voila, the next two go on and hit him. I think I was tapped out here to activate some Steam IDs because we got our own server. After Northern went fully paid, you know, we decided to make a free admin server ourselves. I'll leave a link in the description if you would like to have a free admin server to practice on. There's this Discord, you eat your Steam ID in there and voila, you can just hop on here and practice to your heart's content, as long as you follow all the rules. Well, there's not a lot of them, but I do recommend following them, because breaking them means you lose it and you never get it back, because we don't believe in the strike system. And here I'm back. Now I got 60 and I'm going back in. Because having two angles on the Trike is simply better than one. And me and Ness are going to try and hit another one. We're communicating, asking for stamina reports, so that we know how much the others have before we initiate the pounce. But as soon as one of them will tell us that they're close to 60, we will launch another pounce. And this is what I meant with you just bite it. I guess this is where somebody told us, like, hey, we're at 60. I'm spamming the damage pounce and voila, now I fully unload. And because I'm constantly like hovering her at 60, I only do 600 damage. But let's say that I'm just absorbing it and Nessie is actually landing her full 1k. Alright. I think this is where I really started to get curious on how much we did so far, so I think I opened the stats once more. And voila, the other two ladies hit him hard. It's a bit hard to see. Well, that Trike is in trouble. We did really hit him pretty good. I think I checked the stats again here because I couldn't see it properly. And here I started to realize, like, hey, this Trike is at 10% HP. This is working. Hello, Carno. One more good salvo and that Trike is dead. So at this point, I'm gonna hit him as hard as possible. Another thing you can do is like hit him with 3 Raptors, because then you do 2.5k damage. And yeah, that should kill him. Feels a bit like cheating to know exactly what HP he has left, but once again, for testing purposes, because we want to see what actually works on the Trike. In a nutshell, you cannot solo bounce it, and you really need at least one teammate or another, and then bounce it together. And that really works quite well. And here we're just gonna unload, and we will kill it. And just like that, we killed a Trike. So this is a damage method that works. But there's also the problem of trees, rocks, etc. We're still investigating what we can do with that. But like right now there's this big issue with healing, right? I really think what needs to change is that when you take damage, then for the next 10 seconds you cannot heal. Like that should just pause. Your HP should pause after taking damage for 10 seconds, and after the 10 seconds you should start regening again. Just 10 seconds. All we need. Because without the 10 seconds, you bite it, and 10 seconds later it has healed everything that you have done to it. Because it's healing right through your damage. And I find that a little bit bizarre and too OP. Let's just say that. So I think that 10 seconds is really good to give everything a chance. Because at one point we're gonna get creatures weighing 22 tons. You know? And they will essentially be immortal to all sorts of things. While I feel that if you fight it for 2 hours, I have been biting it for 2 hours, it should no longer be at 100% HP. Now, I'm not saying it should just die to you, because I do believe that survival should always be possible, and especially with sauropods who can go essentially nowhere. I kind of get it. But skill is very important to me, and I think people should definitely use skill in order to kill things. The issue with Trike, however, is that it's really vulnerable against faster things and can't really react to them. And that's just the tools given by the developers are not sufficient enough to deal with it. It's not really our fault. And they should definitely work on that. But definitely one other thing is that healing really, really needs to be kicked down a notch. And it doesn't have to be nerfed. I'm fine with its heal rate. But just that 10 seconds period after being hit to not heal a single drop of HP, that would be much appreciated.